When you enter Concordia for the first time, one of the first characters you interact with is Nurse Nina, a doctor who basically serves as the Dr. Zed of the pre-sequel. At first, she seems harmless. She's just a doctor trying to make a living for herself on a backwater moon, just like anyone else. But what if I told you that there is more to Nina than meets the eye? What if I told you that her innocent persona is far from true? What if I told you that Nurse Nina is not a doctor, but someone else entirely? Because during the quest, systems jammed. In order to tap in and escape from Concordia for reasons unrelated to this video, we discover a transmission taking place, or one that recently took place, between Nurse Nina and her mother.
Mama, you know why I no come back? I'm safe here. Company no know I'm here. Name is same because they expect me change it. Anyway, Mama, no cry. Nina must go.
And from this conversation, Nina goes from a humble doctor to a wanted fugitive by the company. Using our foresight into Borderlands 3, we know Gehenna was heavily influenced by an entity called the Company. Now, I've done a video on the Company before, which you can go watch right here, but the one Nina speaks of, the one that she fears, is not the same as the one who caused all the problems on Gehenna. In fact, Jacobs, spoilers for that video, has little to do with her in any way, shape, or form. And I say this because if we continue on in the story of the pre-sequel, we can find two audio logs that can give us an explanation as to what's going on with Nurse Nina. We learn from these logs that Nina had two previous business dealings with two distinct corporations, one with Dahl and one with Hyperion. With Dahl, she worked at a site at Stanton's Liver, treating workers for injuries they suffered during Dahl's mining operations on the moon's surface. And as with Hyperion, we learn that Nina was actually present and was one of the doctors that saw Timothy turn into Jack's body double. Considering her past dealings, it's logical to assume that this company is either Dahl or Hyperion. If we compare the two together, Dahl is more cut their losses and run. Hyperion, on the other hand, I wouldn't so much put it past them to want an employee dead after business, especially if such business gave the company a bad rap or is a classified project sought after by any rivals. I mean, just look at TK Baja, for example. He had his weapon design stolen by Hyperion and was forced into hiding following his death sentence by the company to keep him from being snatched up by the likes of Jacobs, MacLeod, etc. I've done a video on TK Baja, which you can go watch right here if you're interested in his story. But using TK Baja as an example, we know firsthand the lengths Hyperion will go to seize assets and keep their brand tidy, so it's quite possible that Nina is simply hiding from them. And I say this because we know Jack's doppelgangers were a classified secret project to ensure Jack's safety from competitors inside and out of Hyperion. Since Nina was present when operating on one of the Doppelers, that technically makes her as much as a liability as someone like TK Baja. And so maybe, after operating on Timothy, Nina went into hiding on Elpis because she knew Jack would want her silenced. After all, it wasn't until the pre-sequel that Hyperion arrived in the Pandora system in full force, so Elpis would have been a safe place to hide, especially if you consider the fact that Pandora and Elpis were under the control of another, bigger, badder corporation at the time. So maybe after Jack's takeover of Pandora and its moon, maybe Hyperion finally caught up with Nina, as she has not been seen or heard of since the pre-sequel. And this is when I would end the video. Nina's secret is that she is a wanted fugitive on the run from Hyperion and Jack. But that doesn't sit right with me, because if Nina had been on Elpis since Dahl had controlled the moon because she helped Dahl, that likely means Hyperion contacted her from her residence in Concordia to do the operation on Timothy. So Hyperion and Jack would know where she is and where she is living, but Nina hasn't gone anywhere, meaning that she is in no true danger from Jack or Hyperion. So that can't be it. This company Nina speaks of can't be Hyperion. It just doesn't add up. It feels like there's a detail that's missing, that there's something unknown about Nina that ties everything together. And there is another detail, a detail about Nina that we don't get until the first DLC for the pre-sequel, The Claptastic Voyage. In the DLC, there are these bubbles you can find around the various areas of Claptrap's conscious, and they are called character thought bubbles. Basically, they are Claptrap's thoughts on different characters throughout the Borderlands, like Lilith, Tannis, Pickle, and Nina. And from the bubble on Nina, we discover that she is actually the missing sister to the CEO of the Vladoff Corporation.
Oh! Nina is Ivan Vladoff's missing sister!
Now, not much is known about Vladoff, but we do know that they are one of the mega conglomerates that are in direct competition with Hyperion, Dom, Maliwan, etc., etc. Plus, we know they are heavily inspired by Soviet Russia, which is where Nina's accent originates from. Piecing those two things together, I think we can conclude that Nina's company isn't Dahl or Hyperion, but the Vladoff Corporation, her own family business. Now, why is that the case? Why is it that Vladoff, her own family business, wants her dead, or at least captured? Well, we don't know. Again, we know so little about Vladoff as is, it's really anyone's guess. I mean, maybe Nina didn't want to help run a gun manufacturer. Maybe Nina wanted to instead help people as a doctor, not make guns which people use to kill one another. Of course, Nina was practically a princess of Vladoff, so she might have had access to certain things within the company, like resources and information, and maybe she used that stuff to undermine her family's corporation in some way, which led to her being wanted by her own family. Or maybe Nina just simply ran away. Maybe she was young at the time, hated her life, her parents, and just decided to get out. And since she is technically a corporate asset, obviously Vladoff is going to want her home. Honestly, your guess is really as good as mine. I mean, it's even possible that Nina isn't even related to the Vladoffs, as our evidence is coming from the unreliable source that is Claptrap. If you have any questions or comments about this video, Borderlands, or its lore, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to read each and every one of them. Thanks for watching.